brothers in many places around the world, always silent. If Paul asked me to join them, he would turn off the mic where I was singing. So anyhow, we've had a great life together, and we'd have never made it without the Colwell brothers. And anyhow, I'm sitting there looking at this wonderful picture. And I want you to know that I took that picture. You may not think I have much talent, but that's a hell of a picture. And I taught Betty when we were going up into Scotland, where we'd been invited on a grouse shoot. And that's an honorary thing for an American to be invited on a European shoot. When I got there were 10 guns. 9 of them were Belgian people speaking French. And I had studied enough French that I could hear what they were saying. And what they were saying was, I wonder who the hell invited the Americans. He will not shoot grouse, he'll probably shoot me. So I hope I don't end up next to him on the line. But anyhow, getting back to Betty, and it's not hard to get back to Betty, and I look at that picture and I thought of the last hours of her life. And she was very lucid. And about 6 or 7 days before she died, she said to me, come over here and sit on my bed. I want to tell you something. And she said, I'm ready to go. And been a hell of a life with you. And I said, I agree. And then she said, there's something I want to do for the 2 girls, meaning, there they are, Jenny and Katie. I want you to give them my
Wedding band?
what?
Your hearing aids? Hearing aids was a joke. I don't know.
No, there isn't any joke, because I went down to my friend who is, anyhow, and I haven't had time to address him, but Jenny, this is for you from your mother. And Katie, this is to you from your mother. And if you can open it, I couldn't.
Do you want to tell them what these are?
I'm going to show it.
All right, there you go. The good thing about this is Mom didn't want us to fight, ever. So this worked out beautifully.
You know what it is?
I know what it is. Why don't you tell everyone else what it is?
This is Betty's. We have a pair of hearing aids. What?
Not hearing aids, wedding rings.
You see, age really catches up with you. Anyhow, I haven't had
You
time.
had a pair of wedding rings.
These are Betty's hearing aids. No, they're not her hearing aids. These are my hearing aids. I got it right. But these are the rings that Betty and I had for our whole lives. 71 years.
Wow.
I fell in love with Betty when I met her with her father and mother when I had to come up from my training to be a naval officer up to Richmond, Virginia. And my dad said, I have some friends from New York I want you to meet. I thought, oh God, this is going to be a boring. So I went up and he said, wear your blues, and wear your 2 silver bars. And so I did that, and I met this young girl, blonde girl with blue eyes and a long sweater and saddle shoes. I can tell you this because it's an indelible print on my mind. And I was captured right away, particularly when she laughed all of my jokes. This is somebody to follow up, even though we're 5 years apart, and that's a pretty big thing when a guy 20 is talking to a girl from 15. I mean, that's almost illegal, I think. Anyhow,
They got married.
towards
10
the
years
end of the
later.
evening, all of you have heard this story, but I'll just repeat it. At the end of the evening, I thought to myself, I want to drive her with my jalopy back to the Jefferson Hotel in downtown Richmond. And I walked over to her father, who was a very senior Wall Street banker and very, very conservative. And I said to him, would you mind if I drove your daughter back to the hotel? He didn't say a word. He kind of turned pale and went over to my father and said, would this be okay? My dad said, you can trust this boy anywhere. Now that's a pretty good recommendation coming from your father, and you're 20 years old, and you're willing to take a 15-year-old girl in your jalopy. But I did it, and that was the beginning. And anyhow, along came our gift from heaven, Jenny Belk first, and Katie Belk next. And they are gifts from heaven. And Mom called me over that 7 days, the week before she really started to go, and she wanted to go. She said, I've had a great life with you. And she said, when I'm gone, I want you to take my ring, which I wore on this, which she wore, the other ring like this, and give it one each. There are 2 rings here. 50 years, then you have to get a new ring. This is 50. That's 100. And so we got them, and I haven't had time to look at which ones you're going to get.
Well,
But-
I don't know. We'll look later. But tell them what it's inscribed with.
What?
Tell them what the inscription is.
Tell them what the inscription on inside of these gold rings was the family inscription that goes back to my great-great-grandfather, who had his wedding ring, and the inscription was, each to the other and both for God. Pretty darn good inscription, and it's inside of those rings. Both for the other and both for God. Anyhow, it's been a hell of a run.
Yeah.
And I'm starting a new career. And I can't tell you about it because I don't know what it's going to be. But it's going to have quite a bit of hunting and fishing in it. And I'm looking at my dear friend who's come all the way from Florida. He's the best quail shot I ever hunted with. And his lovely wife and they have a wonderful place on the, what's the river?
Snake River.
Wonderful place. Anyhow, I didn't mean to make any speech tonight, but I'm very moved that all of you came to pay tribute to this lady. She's something, I'll tell you. You talk about up with people. If we hadn't had her, if I hadn't had her next to me, I don't know what I'd have done, but I know this, raising money. She's a banker's daughter, and I'm a preacher's son, who doesn't know a damn thing about money, but she does in her family. And what was I going to tell them?
I think they were going to tell them how mom supported you your whole life.
Yeah.
And she was the woman behind the man.
I just wanted to say about that she had such an impact on upward people. You really don't know, because she was the first one when we went to dinner with Jim McDonald, the president of General Motors, who was hosting two of our students. And at the end of the meal, he had a telephone call and had to leave the table. And Betty leaned over me and says, I really think you ought to ask this man on your board, because he'd been hosting two of our young people and he knew all about it, and he'd seen the shows. And I asked him, and he said, I'd be honored to be on your board. That was Jim McDonald. Then I go to Japan, and I get to know a man named Toyota, who is the head of another little oil car company named the Toyota Motor Company. He's chairman and founder. And I asked him to come on the board. He said, I've never come on any board in an American organization, but I like what you're doing for these young people, and I will come on your board. Then I went on a government trip with Gene Cernan, and you know what happened then. We talked all night on the airplane, and I'm sitting back in steerage, way in the back, and Gene went to the captain and said, could you move my friend up to front first? And they moved him up, and lucky there was a seat next to Gene, and we talked until his wife finally said, you guys have told more lies tonight than I've ever heard. Please go to sleep. And then I asked Gene, and Gene said, I have to check with NASA. And about a week later, he called me and he said, good news, NASA thinks it'd be a very good idea to have one of the astronauts on the board of Up With People. Now think of that. And Betty was behind all this. So really, almost silently, she affected Up With People in a tremendous way. And I salute you, Betty.